Less than 2 years ago, George O'Kelly had been graduated with honors from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and had taken a position with a firm of construction engineers in southern Tennessee.
No, ma'am. If you want your mother and father...
All his life, he had thought in terms of tunnels and skyscrapers and tall three-towered bridges that were like dancers holding hands in a row.
Your spouse and your children.
He loved steel, and there was always steel near him in his dreams. Liquid steel, steel in bars and beams and formless plastic masses, waiting for him as paint and canvas to his hand.
I'm sure you can understand that someone in that position is...
At present, he was an insurance clerk at $40 a week with his dreams slipping fast behind him.
I'm sorry, I'll have to call you back.
The dark little girl who had made this mess,
Sorry.
this terrible and intolerable mess, was waiting to be sent for in a town in Tennessee.
Dearest George, my love, I miss you so. Sometimes I don't know how we can go on like this, being so far away from each other. I don't know if I can do this anymore. I love you more than anything, but it just depresses me that we can't be together. How's the insurance company? There've been lots of parties lately to keep me occupied. But of course, they're not the same without you. Do you remember Jeffrey Craddock? Well, he's taken up the monumental task of trying to teach me to play tennis. I'm awful, but he's a very patient tutor.
You had a vacation. Just 2 weeks ago.
That's true, but now I've got to have another.
Where'd you go last time? To your home?
No, I went to a place in Tennessee.
Well, where do you want to go this time?
Well, this time I want to go to a place in Tennessee.
But I didn't realize you're employed here as a traveling salesman.
I'm not, but I've got to go.
All right. But you don't have to come back. So don't.
I won't. I want to thank you. I don't want to come back. I think I'd have gone crazy if you told me I could come back. Only I couldn't quit for myself, you see. And so, I want to thank you for quitting for me. Mr. Chambers, you owe me 3 days' salary. You know what? You can keep it.
George? Oh, George.
John.
Oh. George. George, this is Mr. Craddock.
It's a pleasure.
Hello.
And Mr. Holt.
Nice to see you.
Hello.
You met them when you were here before.
Well, we better be off. Terribly good to see you again, Mr.
O'Kelly.
Right. Nice to see you again, Mr. O'Kelly. Goodbye, Jonquil.
Bye. George. George.
Hmm? What?
Look.
Mrs. Carey's roast beef is legendary.
Thank you.
So nice to have you here, George. We miss you.
Me too. I know they miss you over at the engineering firm, George. Work has really been picking up there lately.
Really?
Vern? Who is that young man at the firm? The one with the red hair?
Brian Murphy?
Yes, I think. Does that sound right, dear?
Brian and I were in the same class at MIT.
Well, they just gave him a big position on this new dam project.
Really?
And Mrs. Wilson said if you had been there, it would have gone to you.
Mother.
Well, of course, the money wasn't very... Well, I just thought it the perfect opportunity, that's all.
So, George, how are things progressing in the insurance world?
Oh, everything's going fine. I've been promoted. Better salary.
That's great.
Well, they must like you. Or they wouldn't let you off twice in 3 weeks to come down here.
I told them they had to. Told them if they didn't, I wouldn't work for them anymore.
But you ought to save your money, George. Don't spend it all on this expensive trip.
I'm so glad you're here. I wish you were never going away again, darling.
Do you miss me?
So much.
Do you? Do other men come to see you very often? Like those two kids?
Well, of course they do. All the time. Well, I told you in my letters that they did, dearest.
Oh.
Well, you don't expect me never to go anywhere, do you? Just fold my hands and sit here? Forever?
What do you mean? Do you mean you think I'll never have enough money to marry you?
Don't jump to conclusions so, George.
I'm not jumping to conclusions. That's what you said.
It's hot in here. I'm gonna go get the fan.
When will you marry me?
Are you ready for me to marry you?
Can we turn off the damn fan? It's like a clock ticking away. All the time I'll be with you. I came here to be happy and forget everything about New York and time.
George. George. Come here. Come here, George. Let's just sit quiet like this, George. You're so tired and nervous. But your sweetheart will take care of you.
I don't want to sit like this. I want you to kiss me. It's the only thing that makes me rest. Besides, I'm not nervous. You're the one who's nervous. I'm not nervous at all. Just when I'm ready to marry you, you write me the most nervous letters like you're gonna back out. And I've got to come rushing down here?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
But I do want to.
Someday I'll come back.
I know you will. And we can ride. Sometimes.
No, we won't ride. I couldn't stand that. Someday I'll come back.
I'll never forget you, George.
Next.
New York, please.
Oh, hello, Jeffrey. Mr. Craddock.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
That upstate or Manhattan?
Huh? Manhattan.
Well, that'll be a 1625.
No, see, what it is, it's your backhand swing. See, just like this. Just like that.
Out of 20.
Oh, Jeffrey, I can't do this at a train station.
Oh, of course you can.
I'm embarrassing myself.
375 is your change.
Sometime next week?
Let's see, that's 30, 40, 50. No. That's 30, 40, 50, $1.
Well, all right.
The next Tuesday, then.
19, 20.
So, what is it your friend George does in New York?
Well,
Nashville, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City.
Will you be wanting a coupon for the dining car? Sir? Will you be wanting a coupon for the dining car? Sir?
Mr. O'Kelly, is it? It's so nice to see you again.
Yes, isn't it?
Mr. Craddock was just asking what it is you do in New York, George.
Oh, I'm an engineer.
Oh, really? Fascinating stuff. That must be so interesting.
Last call, appointees. On board.
Goodbye, George. I hope you have a very pleasant trip.
Goodbye, George. Do come and see us again.
Hello, the Carey residence, please. 413 Cedar Street. Thank you. Hello, is Miss Jonquil in? Oh, hello. This is George O'Kelly. Haven't seen you in a long time. Over a year. Yes, it'll be nice to see you, too. I'll be there in about an hour, then. Goodbye. Jonquil, for the past 15 months, I've thought about you. Often. I'll always look back with a sense of fondness on the times that you and I have shared. No matter what happens to me in the future, no matter what I do in the future, no one will ever compare with you. Hello, is Miss Jonquil in?
Just a minute, sir.
Hello.
So you've come back.
I wanted to stop in and see you as I came through. This is ridiculous. I don't know quite what to say. Does my being here bother you?
No.
Are you engaged?
No.
Are you in love with someone? Oh. Jonquil. After all that's happened between us, I want to come back and see you. No matter what happens to me in the future, I'll never love another girl as I've loved you. You don't love me anymore, do you?
No.
George, how lovely to see you again.
Hello, Mrs. Carey.
Oh, George, we're so proud of you here. Did you know there was half a column about you in your project in, where was it?
Peru. Cusco.
Peru, oh my. Well, there was a whole half a column about you in the newspaper. Just look at you. You look so healthy. Must be spending a lot of time out of doors, do you, George? George?
What? Oh, well, yes, I'm outside all the time. You see, I supervise the construction of a bridge, so I've got to work with the rodmen and surveyors and sort of make sure everything rolls along according to plan.
Isn't that exciting? You've done so many things, George. Just last year I saw you for insurance. Well, now, I want you two to see the lady with the roses. She particularly said she wants to see you because she read about you in the paper.
George.
When did you start smoking cigars, George?
The day I became a man, darling.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Right. I don't know what kind of jungle tobacco you've been smoking down there in Venezuela.
Peru.
Peru. But this here is fine, quality, domestic.
That's very good. That's very good.
You won't marry me, will you?
I'm never gonna marry anybody.
Oh. I'm going on to Washington in the morning.
Oh?
I have to go. I need to be in New York on the 4th, and I want to stop off in Washington first.
Business?
No. There's someone there that I must see, who was very kind to me when I was so down and out. But before I go, I wanted to tell you the things that have happened to me since I saw you last. And since perhaps we won't meet again, I was wondering if, just this once, you'd sit with me like you used to. I wouldn't ask, except that since there's no one else yet, perhaps it doesn't matter.
When I got back to New York, it was horrible. I spent the worst 2 weeks of my life looking for a job. Finally, I got an offer from a construction company in Jersey City. It didn't pay much, but it was a chance. When the Peru job came up, it didn't seem like an extraordinary opportunity. I was only supposed to be the third assistant engineer on the expedition. But as it turned out, only 10 of the American party ever reached Cusco.
10 days later, the chief of the expedition was dead of yellow fever. So that was my chance. A chance for anybody but a fool. A marvelous chance.
For anybody but a fool.
Even for a fool. Well, I wired New York.
And they told you that you ought to take a chance.
Ought to. But I had to. There was no time to lose.
Not even a minute?
Not even a minute.
Not even time for...
For what? Yes. There's all the time in the world. All the time in the world. His life and hers. But for an instant, as he kissed her, he knew that though he searched through eternity, he could never recapture those lost hours. He might press her close now till the muscles knotted on his arms, but never again an intangible whisper on the dusk or in the breeze of night. There are all kinds of love in the world, but never the same love twice.